Hey guys, welcome to HipHughes History. So you Googled Compromise of 1850, and now you're watching me. So I guess my job is to explain to you, whether you're a student in high school or college or middle school, or you're just crazy on the internet, in a very simple way, how to understand the Compromise of 1850. So giddy up, you give me 3 minutes, and I'll serve you learning. All right, so the Compromise of 1850 has to be seen through the expansion of slavery lens. Manifest Destiny, which is this kind of concept of America moving westward because of divine inspiration, providence, is driving us westward, and along the way is causing a disruption in the American political environment because of the hot button issue of slavery. That every time a new territory is gained, that we have more land, that question kind of like gets dirt kicked up in the atmosphere again. What do we do about slavery in Missouri? What do we do about it in California? The Constitution lacks guidance on this topic. So therefore, Congress is throwing together kind of laws to try to patchwork and band-aid the country as sectionalism is slowly kind of ripping us apart. So these compromises are ways to keep us together. Compromises between the South and basically the Democratic Party and what is going to be the Republican Party, or was the Whig Party of the North, of a stronger central government idea, states' rights in the South. So nevertheless, after the Missouri Compromise, which was kind of an invisible line to deal with the problem, so therefore if a state came in and it was in the northern part of the country, the Missouri Compromise would allocate that to be a free state. And in the South, that would obviously be advocated as a slave state. So that compromise kind of falls apart when Cali comes in. Cali comes in 1849, 1850, right? And it is a huge state, and really the Missouri Compromise doesn't work anymore, so therefore a new compromise has to be kind of patchwork together. So that is the Compromise of 1850. And there's multiple parts of it that I'm not going to go into, like New Mexico and some of these other items. But the big three are, first, that California comes in as a free state. So you can hear, the North, yeah! And you can hear the South, that ain't fair. Right? You needn't doggone get me something. So the second part, you always have to satisfy that Southern interest in a compromise, is the Fugitive Slave Act. And the Fugitive Slave Act, and you might have heard of this in an earlier grade, is this law that really makes the North complicit in slavery, that it allows slave hunters to enter the North to capture what they see as their escaped property. It pushes the Underground Railroad into the North. It angers abolitionists and it stokes their ranks because it stinks so bad. And really, it's driving us closer to civil war, even though it's seen as a Southern victory at the moment. So the Fugitive Slave Act. And then the third was what to do next. Right? The invisible line, the Missouri Compromise, stupid, just, dumb. So we're not going to do that again. So the next brilliant idea is called popular sovereignty, which basically means allowing the citizens of that state to vote whether slavery would be legal or not legal, to democratize, is that a word? Democratize? To put democracy into the formula, right? So what that's going to lead to, by the way, is the Kansas-Nebraska Act, which leads to bloody Kansas, because when you have popular sovereignty over something like slavery, guess who's coming to town? The Bloods and the Crips, baby. Yeah, like every slave-owning, loving, hater, racist person, and every, John Brown, free the slaves, abolitionist, kill you with your mama's knife, they're coming to town, and they're not going to do a nice dance. They're going to lead to bloody Kansas. That leads to the John Brown massacre. It leads to Harper's Ferry and the hanging of John Brown, and then the election of Lincoln. What are we going to do? Compromise of 1850, right? See it as the last big compromise, really, before there can't be any more compromises. A, because of the Dred Scott decision, which is going to say from the Supreme Court that slaves are property, therefore it takes the ball out of Congress's court. And then when Lincoln gets elected, even though he probably wouldn't free the slaves, he is an abolitionist in the sense that he's from the North, and the South is out of here, baby. All right, that's it. That's HipHughes history. So make sure that if you haven't, you check out some of the other videos. We have a lot of videos and a lot of different topics, and that you definitely subscribe, because you receive free buckets of swag. It is awesome. Look in the description below, and there are other EDU gurus that we would like you to check out that are amazing and awesome, as well as just like a whole bunch of EDU geniuses that have been out there for a very long time with huge audiences that need your support as well. So giddy up, that's it. Where attention goes, energy flows. Hughes is out of here, because I don't want to shout, and I don't want to pout, and I don't like sauerkraut, but I got to get the hell